Hi, my name is James Tang, and this presentation is for Evaluation for Learning 3230. This is assignment number 3, Informal Assessment Strategy, and I have selected number 33, Focused Autobiographical Sketches, for this presentation. A focused autobiographical sketches is a short 1 or 2 pages autobiographical sketch focused on a single successful learning experience in the past, an experience relevant to learning in the particular course in which the assessment technique is used. The focused autobiographical sketch provides information on the student's self-concept and self-awareness as learner within a specific field. It gives the teacher a composite portrait of the range and diversity of levels of self-awareness and reflectiveness among students in the class. This information can help teachers to determine where the students are so that they can more effectively gauge the appropriate level of instruction and set realistic course objectives. These sketches can also provide starting line information against which to assess learning over the course of the semester. So what principles drive this strategy? Number 1, determine what element or elements of the student's learning experiences you want to focus the autobiographical sketch on. Clearly limit the focus and make sure it is directly related to the course goals and objectives. Number 2, limit the sketch still further by determining what period or periods in the students' lives and what specific area of their lives, for example, professional, academic, or interpersonal, the sketch should cover. Number 3, consider what scale, if any, or criteria you will be used to assess the sketches. Then reconsider your focus in the light of your assessment criteria. Does it still make sense? Would you be able to analyze students' responses? Number 4, if the answer to both of the above question is yes, construct very explicit direction for the student to follow in writing the focused autobiographical sketch. Since these sketches must be short, keep the field of concern as limited as possible. And in what context would this strategy work best? Well, the familiar autobiographical statements referred to in the description section are used primarily for selection and gatekeeping for summative evaluation of candidates. Focused autobiographical sketches, on the other hand, should be used only for diagnostic and formative evaluation. Therefore, this technique is appropriate for any course that aims at helping students develop their self-confidence, self-awareness, and skills at self-assessment. It is particularly useful in introductory courses, especially those are likely to cause high levels of student anxiety. Underprepared learners and adult students returning to college seem to find this CAT especially helpful. Focused autobiographical sketches are most effective at the beginning of course or units and should only be used once in a term in most cases because they are time-consuming to write and to analyze, so they are best adapted to a very small classes. So what are the limitations of this strategy? Well, there are no simple, widely accepted guidelines on how to judge the quality or intensity or value of individual learning experience. So this technique requires that teachers develop their own guidelines. Reading such sketches, every very brief one, requires a lot of time and attention, as does responding to them in even the simplest way. Many students are relatively proficient at narrating their past experience, but unskilled at critically assessing it. So such students may need instructions and guidance in writing critical, reflective prose, and especially in focusing their writing before their autobiographical sketches will yield much useful information. Some students balk at revealing any information about themselves, even when the information is revealed anonymously. Although you will want to explain the purpose of this assessment and to encourage students to take part, but don't force anyone to participate. So what are the advantages of this strategy? Focused autobiographical sketches allows teachers to assess only those dimensions of the student's experience likely to be relevant to the course content and goals, a much more effective approach than reading general personal statements. This technique provides information on the range and diversity of past experience and level of self-awareness within a class. This information is yields can be used for setting instructional goals appropriate to the particular mix of students. And what are the best practice for this strategy? Well, since the aim of this technique is to gather well-focused information on certain relevant learning experience, the analysis of data should be limited to categorizing the counting those experiences in ways that will help you better focus the class. You may simply categorize the type of experience recounted as relevant or not relevant to the course content, and then further break down the relevant category into subcategories, such as directly, indirectly, or tangentially relevant. Another approach is to assess the quality or integrity of the experiences recounted. A third option is to assess the level of self-awareness or critical reflection displayed in the sketches. As a follow-up, ask students to explain the criteria they apply in judging the experiences they choose to write about. For example, ask them to write about how and why they judge the experience to be successful or meaningful. And how would you provide feedback to your student using this strategy? Well, this strategy allows the students to get feedback instantly, and you can also follow up with more probing questions or provide a list of common elements to the students. Well, this concludes the presentation on focused autobiographical sketches. Thank you for watching.